Hello, this is Todd from RocketCarProductions. I just want to give a little bit of an apology for those who were waiting for this week's videos. It's been sort of hard. We've been really pressed for time. Something came up in the week of June that we weren't really expecting, so June's going to be a little harder. We're going to keep on trying to push at least new videos, maybe not, completely new content, and this is one of them. To make up for the two videos that we weren't able to make this week, we have a commentary for both the wilderness and what a world. First, starting with the wilderness. And don't worry, next week we have actually a pretty good treat for you. We'll probably be able to get it finished up by then. If not, we'll have other two things, and I hope you enjoy them as well. So right now, let's start off with the wilderness. Now there's Graham telling you about how you're going to survive in the wilderness with his tips. Now with Graham, he just came with his normal clothing, so the cross wasn't anything important. We just threw on the mustache, and then I decided I didn't like the way that he just had a t-shirt on. I felt it was too kind of uncaring, like we didn't put a lot of effort into it. So I grabbed my weight vest and I started treating it like, I don't know, like Kevlar or something like that. I don't really know what it was supposed to do. I guess to make him look more official. I think of like those British guys in war zones, and they have the Kevlar, and that's sort of what I came up with. Like, okay, I don't know, it looks right to me. Not sure if it's 100% right, but where we actually shot this in a local park in our town. It's really easy. We drive there, and we did it actually during a school day when we had to go in. We can go in late, so it was really quiet. There weren't a lot of people there because it wasn't the weekend, and it was really easy to film. There was like one part where we had to actually wait for people to go by. This shot right here is interesting because though this is a shot I'd say I was able to actually edit it, but at the same time it didn't really do anything. Because basically what happened was you never actually saw the twigs on the ground. Now, in the first shot you saw, with it looks like a continuous shot, there were twigs on the ground. What I did was I panned over to look at the bear that he's talking about, but when I turn back to look at him, what actually happens is I turn back to look at him and he's, it's still there and the twigs are still there. What I do is I do another shot of looking in the same direction and I pan really quickly, but then we have the walk. Now what I do is, right when it's really blurry, when it's like panning and was like quickly moving somewhere, then I just cut it right there and I edit the pieces together and it looks like a continuous shot. It was supposed to make it look like it just changed like magic, but it didn't really work. This shot was interesting because the cell phone actually hit before, so you had the sound of a cell phone hitting, and I had to edit that out with Sound Booth, which is a Sound Booth CS3. And then the actual bottle, that was an actual foos bottle falling. What I actually did was take an image of a foos bottle, crop it out in Photoshop. You're going to see the same effect here. And then I put it in After Effects, and you don't really need After Effects. You can use Final Cut Pro really easily with the keying tools. What you do is you just blur it up, and then you move it when you want to get like right about where you want it, and then you add the sound effect to make it feel like it hits. Make sure you hit it in about the same position. Now this was fun right here. We have the bowl of cereal here, which is a very threatening bowl of cereal, and the voice in this thing, the Wild Lore, is just me editing my voice to make it really loud and really, really big. Now this is probably the saddest thing. This took about it took not even an hour to film. We actually planned it for about 2 hours. We got done maybe hour 15. So this is really quick filming. Editing it, like just raw editing, didn't take long. It took me about an hour. But because I'm new to After Effects, the effects took so long, especially because of this. Now this is something you need to learn, because you're gonna learn about motion tracking if you get into any sort of visual effects. Right here, scaling. Now you see, if it was just I didn't zoom in at all, and I just did that. Like the tracking for that, you see that's actually tracked. That's actually just a darkened image I put over it. So it's in the same place. I just move it a little bit to fit within, to make it look like it's in the same place. But the problem is, you can't use motion tracking because the scale is so horribly large. And what motion tracking actually is it tracks the pixels that are on the screen, the colored pixels, and it follows those pixels within a certain range. So when it's tracking, like you're panning somewhere, or you're moving it just slightly, like you're stabilizing footage to make it look handheld, that's really easy. When you're panning out and the pixels are physically changing to a drastic scale like I did, then you can't use it. So I had to hand animate it, and I used a things in After Effects. Really, if you can play around, you'll be able to do any things that I did with the lightning, and then I had to use stock footage for the explosion, which is just footage of an explosion on a black screen, and then I used a Luma key to be able to key out the black. Now this is, again, this effect right here, again, completely useless in a way, but at the same time, it kind of works, because you didn't really see the bowl of cereal, the second bowl of cereal, right about right here. And that was another flash cut. That was another cut that I just took 2 pieces of film, and in the middle of those cuts, I just edited them together to make it look like one continuous cut. Which it worked. Oh yeah. It was good. Graham was against the idea of him eating cereal, having another thing of cereal in that, because he didn't understand it, but, you know, again, it kind of adds to the idea of him just eating the cereal regardless, and it's pretty funny. This, again, was, well, actually, it's kind of nice right here, because the light right there, I was able to motion track that, but the lightning right there, both lightnings, I had to physically hand animate each of those. So that's going to be the problem you're going to run into. That's my tip for you, because again, I usually make a big mistake whenever I film something, like one big mistake that I have to, it's a pain to just fix. That's one thing. If you're planning like, oh, I'm going to motion track that in later, make sure you can motion track it. Make sure that you're not like zooming in, zooming out. You have a very obvious piece to track. So if I were you, I put like a red dot, like a red marble or something like that within a scene that, you know, obviously doesn't have a distinctive color to use to track your footage, or else it's going to be a pain, and then you're most likely going to have to hand do it, which is, it's not, I think it's just tedious, and it's nice when you can automatically do it. Like, the glow was automatic for me, but the rest of it, you just, yeah, a lot of the things you just have to work with. So again, just to give you the list of programs that I used, I recorded it on my Canon XL2, and I put it into Final Cut Pro. I cut it up, and this is also very nice. I discovered a new filter known as Pro Amp, and basically I call it the sexy filter because it makes everything look good. This footage looks very desaturated, but if I saturated it, even Graham's like skin would be saturated. This thing just focuses on other colors. I think it focuses on like other colors, except really mute colors like Graham's skin and stuff like that, and really exaggerates them. It's pretty much a perfect filter. It works, makes everything just look good. Like, everything looks very green, very nice in the footage. So, that's what I like. It works very well for that. And then after that, after I cut it up and gave the raw footage, I just kind of planned, like, okay, I'm just going to put effects over it to make it look like that, which I did. Then I imported it into After Effects, in which I added the effects. And that took a while. And again, After Effects, you basically have to get it to understand the effects, and you have to work within the limitations of the effects. So, I was able to. And then after that, I imported it into Sound Booth, which I was able to get a lot of first, it was very loud, there were a couple of hisses at some points, and there was a lot of just like weird sounds at different moments that just sounded unprofessional. And luckily I was able to use auto healing tools with a visual spectrum of what the sound looks like in a visual, well, that's the nice thing about Sound Booth. You can visually edit it, so like, okay, there's a big red mark right here, that's the sound of the cell phone dropping on the ground, and I don't want it there, so you can use either auto heal or you can delete it completely. It may edit like certain aspects of your sound, but for the most part, it'll keep it pretty clean. And then I just exported it, tried my best to get it to YouTube quality, and that's basically how I made it. So I hope you took something from this, and I hope you enjoy. I'll see you next week with some more videos.